Today on AlphaMail Mondays, we're going to talk about the Wilder fight, Pop Smoke's tragic passing. We're also going to talk about staying on code for all you code breakers, and we're going to do a quick movie review of Queen and Slim. Peace, power, and positive vibes. AlphaMail Mondays coming at you once again. We got Culture Rich TV in the background, the executive producer, and yours truly, Nafir Nunn. Now let's get right into it. It was a big fight that happened on the weekend. This fight was a historical fight, okay? Because this is one of the first times that we've got to see the heavyweight division come back into the mainstream. Before, when there was like Mike Tyson and there was Muhammad Ali, there's never been a time like this again. Wilder brought us back to that era of where man are getting knocked the F out. Regular, okay? So now he had to fight this guy we call Tyson Fury. They call him the Gypsy King. I have a little bit of an issue with the Gypsy King because I know the origin of the word gypsy. It's derived from Egyptian, and Tyson Fury don't look like no Egyptian to me, but we know about the cultural appropriation and all that kind of stuff, the $5 Indian flex, etc., so we won't get into that too much. But Gypsy King, I don't know. But you did win the fight. Illegally, okay? Now, the thing that I have a problem with, this is the only thing I have a problem with, okay? In this whole episode, or this whole, not this episode, but this whole extravaganza, okay? It's very interesting to me that even though in this era of slow motion video, instant replay video, still pictures that you can receive or you can capture from video, that no one is talking about the rabbit punch. No one? Nobody's talking about the rabbit punch. This is really interesting to me, okay? Because rabbit punches in boxing, this is the art of pugilism. Rabbit punches are illegal, okay? And there's a reason why. Because if you get struck in the occipital bone at the base of your head, it results in severe trauma, okay? There's a couple boxers that have died in the ring. One died in the ring recently, and it wasn't because of the punch. It was because when he landed on the back of his head, and he died. He went into a coma and died, okay? Dead. Because you're not supposed to hit people in the back of their head. Now, generally, the symptoms that occur after being struck in the back of the head properly is dizziness, nausea, and loss of equilibrium, okay? But everybody's talking about he got punched in his ear. He got punched in his ear? He didn't get punched. He might have got punched in the ear the first fight with the floppy glove that we all could take a look at after as well, but we're not going to get into that. This is the second fight, okay? And he got punched in the back of his head, went to the ground immediately, popped up, said, "What happened?" His corner screaming, "Illegal blow, back of the head, back of the head, back of the head." Not one commentator said nothing. Not one pundit after the fact said nothing. The ref didn't say nothing. This is suspect. This is suspect. You should have at least somebody in the whole 100%. You should have at least a 1% of the guys talking about the rabbit punch to the back of the head, but nobody's talking about it. That's very interesting to me. It's extremely dishonest. So guys like Joe Rogan, what the fuck are you on, bro? Like guys like Chael Sonnen, what the fuck are you on, bro? I watch you guys and I enjoy your podcasts, but you guys are being extremely dishonest right now. The guy got hit in the back of his head and his ear started to bleed. And you guys are talking about, he got punched in his ear and erupted his eardrum. He got punched in the back of his head and his ear started to bleed. Now when you get punched in the back of your head or you get struck in the back of your head, the occipital bone, what doctors say happens a lot of the time is you can get a skull fracture, and the skull fracture will be in the front of your skull, Okay? So, this is something where you saw a man take a blow to the back of his head, his ear started to bleed, and you guys aren't even talking about it? Extremely dishonest. Did you really want the white guy to win that bad? Is that what it was? Because we all know, we can say that, oh yeah, it's just boxer versus boxer, undefeated versus undefeated, but we all know what's going on. And I'm not going to play dumb, but I don't even have to say it. But you guys can play dumb all you want. But we all see. There's instant replays, okay? There's clear footage from different angles of Fury hitting this man behind his head. And none of you guys are talking about it. Now, when I was watching the fight with my daughter, my youngest daughter, okay? And she asked me, Dad, is it legal for them to punch somebody in the back of the head? And I said, no, it's not legal. And she said, so what's happening here? She had to get up and leave the fight. She didn't want to watch the fight no more after the 4th round. She saw that he was out on his feet, okay? But he wasn't out on his feet. He just had zero equilibrium, okay? He was dizzy. He was stumbling around the ring. He couldn't even come from his corner in the 4th round and walk out straight. He was walking out unbalanced, like he didn't know what was going on. The look on his face alone showed what's going on here, okay? And yes, he's a warrior, so he doesn't want Tao to be thrown in. But even me, myself, watching it, I'm saying, what, is this guy going to die in the ring tonight? Is he going to be the body that he's been talking about leaving in the ring tonight? Because Wilder has talked about catching a body in the ring, okay? However, it's extremely irresponsible for the ref, okay? Because the ref saw what was going on. The ref, when the fight started, Fury's trunks were about 2 inches under his nipples, okay? Now, go back and watch. His trunks were so high, and there's padding around top of the trunks. So the padding now was at the top, near his ribs. He's being very protected, okay? And in the first fight, how come nobody was talking about the flimsy gloves, or how he was punching, and how his forearm looked irregularly long? There's something going on here. And it's very fishy, it's suspect. I don't know exactly what's going on. I can't tell you. I'm not in the dressing room. I'm not part of the boxing community, but I can, if it smells like a duck, and it walks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, then generally it's a duck, okay? Generally speaking. So this seemed a little bit odd to me. Tyson Fury, congratulations for winning the fight and getting through, I guess, or whatever. But you don't impress me, bro. You don't impress me with all your illegal antics, okay? Headlocking mans. And yeah, I know that European fighters fight very dirty. That's how Jeff, I can't remember his first name, but Horn. That's how he beat Pacquiao, by bullying him, okay? And when I watched the fight, and you watched the fight, there was head contact, and all kind of crazy stuff. But at least there was no illegal punches to the back of somebody's head that knocked somebody to the ground immediately. And when the guy got up his corner screaming, that's a shot to the back of the head, and nobody's saying anything about it. Now, even 3 days after the fight, nobody's saying anything about it. That's suspect. You should at least there's usually polar opposites. There's usually something where you have like one side saying, oh, this is completely fair and square, and then the other side saying, no, this was unfair. Almost in everything. You have the red and the blue, Republican and Democrat, like Crips and Blood. You always have what they call the Hegelian dialectic, where you have the two opposing viewpoints, which you can synthesize. You have the synthesis and you have the thesis and you have the antithesis, and then you bring them together to bring the synthesis together, okay? However, that's not what's going on right here. Everything is over on this side. Saying, oh, Wilder got his ass kicked, Wilder got destroyed. And even black people, smarten up, man. Smarten up, okay? Because if you guys didn't watch the fight and only watched the highlights, shut up. Go and watch the fight first. Watch the 3rd round. At least watch the full 3rd round. And then slow it down, okay? And watch the punch to the back of the head. There's a couple videos online right now on YouTube that you can go look at. And just type in Tyson Fury lands illegal punch. And you'll get to see it from various angles, how he punched this guy in the back of his head. And when you see that, and nobody's talking about it, it should give you an indication that something fishy is up. Okay? That's all I'm really saying. He was tripped in the fight. There's a whole bunch of things. People are talking about, was Tyson's gloves like laced with different things? I don't care about none of that. The only thing I care about is the reason why none of you guys are talking about the rabbit punch. None of you guys. Okay? So, yeah, the rematch clause should be exercised. Okay? Wilder, there's some people out here pushing information saying how you said the reason why the fight went that way is because your suit was too heavy. I don't know if I buy that. I never saw that come out of your mouth. I don't know. But right now, your camp needs to go back and watch the fight. You need to go back and watch the fight and see exactly where things went wrong. Because the first 2 rounds, you were up. Maybe not on the scorecards, but in the strikes delivered, the strikes landed, you were up in the first 2 rounds, okay? Which was interesting because what they decided to show on the television was the significant strikes at that time. Which you always seem to have this thing you guys do. People that watch stuff, we catch it, eh? We know that when the guy that you're rooting for has less total strikes, you guys go to significant strikes. And vice versa. We know this. So there's little tactics, and we know boxing is a little bit corrupt. Since the days of Don King, where they're talking about Don King is so corrupt, but Dana White's the most fucking corrupt out of everybody, okay? Because Dana White has been robbing mans of their purses from time. And I remember when I asked this question online years ago, who's worse, Dana White or Don King? Everybody said Don King. Don King is making millionaires. Dana White has how many millionaires? 2? Conor McGregor and Khabib. Anderson Silva was the baddest man forever. You denied him fights, etc., etc. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about Wilder and Fury. And Fury, you got away with it. And we see how all these people are caping for you. Okay? But me, I'm not caping for nobody. I just call it as I see it. Okay? And if Fury had won fair and square, I would have said, shoot, Wilder needs to improve on his technical skills. Because Wilder's technical skills, they're not as advanced as other boxers who are boxing since they were 5 years old. But he started boxing when he was 20. So we were talking about this earlier, Culture Rich, you know? Yeah. And I understand your position. You're saying that as a man who spends all this time in the gym, he should have his fundamentals a little bit more polished. And I can agree, but I can also see and put myself in his shoes and know that habits are difficult to break when you're 20. It's not like these are things you were doing since you were 5, okay? So I get what other people might say about, oh, he's only a puncher and oh, he only has a 1 punch. This guy at 20 years old started boxing and went to Olympics and got silver medal. Nobody can tell me that an unskilled boxer who doesn't have technical skills can get a silver medal in the Olympics. Because you're fighting the world, okay, in the amateurs. So he was clearly good enough to beat all those guys. And then he came into professional boxing and whooped everybody, okay? And they were looking for somebody to beat him. They were Anthony Joshua, I rate you too. I rate you high up there, bro. But you're ducking Wilder, and you were ducking Wilder for a minute, okay, bro? We all know this is the truth, okay? So we know you wanted Fury to win too, because I heard you were dusting him out in the sparring. That came out. How Fury even said how Anthony Joshua was beating me up in sparring. So it's an easier task for you because you seem to be a little bit chinny. So if Wilder touches it, we all know what probably is going to happen because it happens to everybody. It's not like no slight against you, Anthony Joshua. Not at all. I think that as the face of boxing, you could definitely be that. Same with Wilder. Okay? Because you see, with Wilder, his personality is so large. It's like a Muhammad Ali. And he's talking about being a black god. And one of my friends actually told me, one of my very close friends that I have a lot of respect for said, look at the beginning of the fight, and you see when he takes his mask off, that there's a big red beamed at the back of his head. Now, that's also interesting. But anyway, Anthony Joshua speaks like a British well-spoken gentleman. So for the face of boxing, I could see you. I could see you, okay? I could see it. But not, anyway, I won't get into this in Tyson Fury. He already won. This is no sour grapes and there's no bitterness or anything like that. The only issue that I have is the fact that nobody that has a large platform is talking about the rabbit punch, is talking about the after effects of being hit in your occipital bone, okay? Generally, they say to recover from that, it takes about 150 minutes, okay? So if a low blow to your balls, they give you up to 5 minutes to recover from, okay? Then it is clear that if it takes 150 minutes, that this occipital bone blow was at least 30 times worse than a blow to the balls, because 5 times 30 is 150. Okay, so if it's going to take 5 minutes to recover from one and 150 minutes to recover from the other, then it logically follows. Okay, that fight should have been stopped immediately. And in MMA, just the other day, we were talking about Diego Sanchez, right? And Diego Sanchez took a knee in the face when he was on the ground, and immediately fight was called off, and Diego Sanchez won by disqualification. But here, we got the Hopes alive, the great Hopes alive.
Wait, why Hope?
He said it, not me. Okay? So, he said it, not me.
Culture is TV.
Culture is TV said it, not me. YouTube, relax. Okay, guys? I'm trying to stick within your boundaries, all right? The parameters, I'm trying to stay within.
What about the blood tasting thing?
I don't even care about the blood tasting.
That was creepy.
I don't even care about the blood tasting. They eat meat. I don't care about the blood tasting. What I'll say is this. If you get hit in the back of your head and your ear starts to bleed, something drastic happened there, okay? Something drastic. And when you're watching a man wobbling out and nobody's calling doctors, nothing, nobody's getting the flashlight in the eyes to see nothing. It's just like, yeah, go kill this motherfucker because he's been killing us for the time. It's just suspect. And all of you journalists that are out there talking about this fight and just ignoring the rabbit punch, capital F. You get a capital F with this middle finger, okay? Capital F, okay? Because all of you guys are dishonest as. All right? Okay, so that's that for that. Next, what we're going to talk about is some more white privilege, okay? And I recently was on Facebook or one of these social media things, and somebody asked, what is white privilege? My response to that is, what is an apple? What is a cup? What is a cell phone? If you want to be silly with your dumb questions, trying to make people punch themselves out, okay? We all know what white privilege is, okay? And if you don't believe in it, whatever. I don't believe in Jesus either, so you can believe whatever you want to believe in, all right? So whatever, okay? But now, Harvey Weinstein, he got convicted, but the 2 major charges were dropped, okay? So he has 2 other charges, which are pretty serious in retrospect. They're pretty serious charges, rape and whatnot. They're saying he's going to get 5 or potentially 5 to 25 years. He ain't getting 5, bro.
You don't think so?
He's getting suspended sentence. He's getting suspended sentence. Guarantee you, he's getting suspended sentence. And if this video has anything to do with him getting the 5 years, because you guys see that we see what's going on, thumbs up for me, okay? But he was supposed to be transported to Rikers Island, and what happened? My heart hurts me, my chest hurts. Now he's in the hospital? You guys use any excuse you can, to keep your boys safe, I see the flex, and that's why it is chess all day. Either play or be played, okay? Kevin Spacey had some some accusers
Yeah.
for this Me Too thing.
Yeah.
He had 15 accusers, you know.
I didn't know it was 15.
It's 15. But apparently, 4 of the accusers that they were going to trial with, all of them are dead now.
Shit.
All of them are dead now. So Kaiser, I'm not calling you Kevin anymore. Like your name is Kevin Spacey, the initials are KS. That also is Kaiser Soze. Okay, bro? And there's a little joke around Hollywood going on like you're the real Kaiser Soze. I believe it.
I believe it too.
I believe it. Okay? Because you're buggering little boys from time and nothing.
No, they're
Okay?
not dead.
Nothing. Alright? So I understand these flexes and I understand that the general public who shares the same demographic as people like Weinstein or Spacey. I don't have to get into the fullness because you should understand what demographic means if you're watching this. Because as I told you, when you leave here, you're going to learn something. So if you don't know what demographic is, when you should, go look it up and you'll see what I mean. People that share that same demographic seem to ignore all of the circumstances that should convict these perverted degenerates. But they stay on code and will ask you questions like, what do you mean? Get out of here. And that's why that movie was named Get Out. Okay? But get out. You can't really believe that, can you? Okay? So for us, okay? For us, we have to be staying on code. Now, I don't generally use those terms on code, but everybody seems to be familiar with it. Tariq Nasheed kind of baptized that phrase, and I know that he's very, very popular, and I can use it because you guys understand. So you code breakers that want to always talk negative about black people. Oh, look at that bad black over there. Because you want to isolate the fact that you're a good black. Bro, nobody is making the distinction between you and the other black. Okay? So at this juncture right now, you guys might not like what I have to say, but I don't care what I see a black guy doing that might be negative. I'm going to spin it. I'm going to spin it every time. Well, you know, he did that because you bullied him and because of the post-traumatic stress and because of slavery and because of discrimination and white supremacy. I'll go through the gamut, okay? Because that's what they do. Well, he was mentally ill and I'll go through the same gamut that you guys go through. Because guess what, guys? It seems to only be us that want to talk negative about us. You see what happens when there was a commercial a little while back. And the commercial was a commercial depicting an Asian lady. And then it basically gave reference, or it insinuated that Asian women are used to or are familiar with small penis. Okay? That's what the reference or the insinuation was, all right? And China immediately came and said, pull that. We can't have that, bro. Okay, you don't want to pull that? And you can't get anything out of China no more. No more friggin' Nike. No more, okay? And what happened? Apologies and commercial gets removed. Okay? If any group comes out like that, or something is slighted, or they're slighted in that way, they will come out and say, hey, you guys are being racist. You guys can't do this. And our country or our nation or our whole ethnicity is gonna go against you now. Except for us. And all of a sudden, this ties right into what's going on in China right now, how they want to get rid of all the non-Chinese people, all the non-Asians. They want to get rid of all the foreigners in China right now. That's what they're talking about. Good. Do it. Okay? I want you to do it. Because that gives us the precedent to get all of the foreigners to get out of the Caribbean, get out of South America, get out of Africa. And me, you can stay in the Caribbean, you can stay in South America, get out of Africa. What happens if we tell everybody you get out of Africa now? What happens? No more cell phones, no more computers, nothing. You gotta go back. iPhone 30 might be available, but you still gotta use iPhone 11 because you can't get the parts you need. those certain minerals that you get out of Africa. So if you guys want to be so bold and talk about go back to your country and why do you go back to your country and whatnot, and Africa's a continent, by the way. But if you want to talk about go back to your country and all that kind of nonsense, and you want to kick us out of your regions, good, do it. Do it. We produce, in the 80s, it was 70% of the world's natural resources that came out of Africa, okay? So it's not impossible, but it's improbable for a nation that produces 70% of the world's natural resources to be an impoverished nation, to be an impoverished continent. It is very improbable, but it's possible, and you guys made it possible, and you guys made it so, because you've colonized the whole place. But if you want us to get out of all your, get the fuck out of Africa then. How about that? Okay? Nobody want to do that. Nobody wants to do that. So, you guys, careful with your shit talk, alright? So, that's that for that. Now we're going to talk about a tragedy that happened to one of these young guys in the hip-hop community, an entertainer. He goes by the name Pop Smoke. Now, I don't know his real name, and to be quite frank, I'm not familiar with that much of his catalog, alright? But I know he was popping, alright? Now, apparently he's from a region in New York where jacking is the thing. Was it called Jack Gang? Is that what you told me? It was Jack Gang? So you're jacking. Okay. Alright, whatever. But I heard one story about the reason why he got wet up is because they were panning on Instagram or one of these social media things where he's showing off his money or whatever, and then the address of the B&B or wherever they were staying showed up. So then guys came in and wanted to take him out. Okay. Now that story, I was gonna just run with it. I don't really have too much background, and I'm not investigating that incident. But Culture Rich TV tells me that there was 8 people in the place, and he's the only one that got touched. That's suspect. Okay. So then we were talking about a few other things. And there's something about how he rented a Rolls Royce for a video from some Armenians. And then now, when it comes time to return the Rolls Royce, he returns it late or something along the lines of, I'm punking you off for your Rolls Royce, guy. You don't know who I am? Jack Gang. Or something like that. Now, I don't know. I do know this. It seems that Armenians, because there's definitely some type of mafia or something there. The Armenians that I know, and I do business with various ones at the trade shows, I meet lots of different people, and it's just really weird to me that every Armenian that I meet, they all have the same come-up story from their father just had one piece of leather, and then he made it into 2 belts, and then he sold 2 belts for this, and then from the 2 belts he sold 4, and then he sold 8, and now we're multi-millionaires from selling leather belts. Bro, story up, okay? So, every Armenian that I know seems to be either into like jewelry, gold and diamonds, high-level furs, or some type of high-level furniture. Where'd you guys get the money from, dog? So now anyway, the Armenian community is not no joke community. They're not no joke community. However, when I was coming up, we used to do our little flexes, okay, and get links, and you guys know what I'm talking about, all right? And I remember dealing with various individuals, Italians, Greeks, Armenians, Asians, and they would always give me the same spiel, all of them. And they would say, well, you know, we don't really deal with black guys, but you're a bit different. And I am a bit different. You see, superior shea butter blends right there? I am a little bit different, okay? I don't have a superiority complex, but I got a superiority complex, okay? So it's actually right here where we're filming. It's my complex, which is superior, anyway, whatever, okay? So now, plug in every day, right? So you see, the thing is that they would say they wouldn't deal with black guys, and it would be like, why not? And there's only one reason why they don't want to deal with black guys often, and that's because we don't care if you're a made man or not. We don't care. Violate, and I'm coming. Okay? So maybe this is a reason for the cover story of the address was shown or whatever, because if it comes out that it was any type of thing with Armenians, watch how many of your stores get jacked by the jack gangs of New York. Okay? You know how much of us are there, bro. So I don't know what directly happened. Pop Smoke's family, my condolences go out to you. The youth seemed like he had a very positive vibe about him. Even though he was talking some jack gang stuff, the smile that I see on the guy's face, I feel like he was helping his family and helping the people around him. But I don't know him like that, right? So, and I don't know too many people that do know him. I know a couple people that said they know him and whatnot, but I don't know them. But still, it is a tragic death, and there's a lot of these young guys going way too soon. So what I suggest is this: when you speak certain things into existence, when it's coming out of your mouth, all right, be very mindful of the things that you're speaking about, okay? Because they all have an energy attached to them, all right? And it might not hit you, but it could hit somebody around you too, okay? So people, our brothers and sisters, we gotta talk positive about each other all the time. And that has something to do with staying on code. I shouldn't be seeing any negative propaganda about black people spread by black people. Unless you're being paid, okay? The Tommy Sotomayers and you guys, okay? Unless you're being paid by the adversary to talk shit, the Jesse V. Petersons, okay? I didn't say it. Okay?
Oprah and Gail. Oprah, Gail.
Unless you're being paid, and yeah, Oprah and Gail. Unless you're being paid, okay, to talk negative stuff, what's your motive? What's your objective? Okay? I don't get it. Because the adversary, colonists, whatever name you want to call them, okay? That demographic, whatever name you want to call them, they're spending billions of trillions of dollars daily and billions of man hours daily to smear black people and black culture, black identity, black history. So I didn't even want to hear any of my brothers and sisters talking negative about a black tablecloth. I don't care what it is. If it's black and Moors, come on guys, you already know, you know where I stand. We had this discussion before, okay? You know what I mean, okay? I don't want to hear nothing negative about our people circulated by any of us. That should be an immediate cancel. It should be an immediate cancel, okay? Because until we have solidarity and power and unity, we do not have the luxury of demeaning ourselves in front of anybody that's not ourselves, okay? So that's that for that.
Superior Shea Butter Blends presents Shea on You, the best body butter on the planet. A superior blend of shea butter, cocoa butter, and mango butter infused with 14 essential oils. Originally created to combat eczema, this superior formula also combats psoriasis, rosacea, all forms of dry skin, and acts as an insect repellent with naturally occurring SPF. So soft, so superior.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get to some alpha mail. All right. So this question comes to us from k3smiles@gmail.com.
All right. So K3 Smiles asks, can you guys talk about Black Wall Street and how we can rebuild another Black Wall Street? That's a great question.
That's a great question.
I love that.
Okay. Now, this is a very layered question, so there's going to be elements of it that I will never get into in a public forum. It has to be private, and I'll talk to you about those points. Well, I'll talk to you about elaborating on those points in your own private groups. But you see, Black Wall Street, there was a group called the Gap Band. You know the Gap Band?
Not really that familiar, but I heard of the Gap Band, yeah.
Now their name was an acronym.
Okay.
Can you do some little research? Just Google that quickly for me and tell me what the name of the street was. I think it was Archer and Pine. Was it Green?
Okay, Greenwood, Archer, Pine.
Okay.
That's
so that was the historical intersection or historical streets where Black Wall Street was. Okay?
This is in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah. In the early 1900s, 1920s.
1920 is about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Black Wall Street was established. And this group has a song called You Dropped the Bomb on Me, Baby. You dropped the bomb on me. Okay, that's what the song says. And forgive my chops, I'm not a singer. You guys do know me as DN the Doctor Who. I don't really sing too much, you guys know that. But now, what happened with Black Wall Street is right after the abolition of slavery, black people were given free black status, or the status of a free black man.
Freeman.
Freeman? What's they called it? Yeah. Okay. Now, they were in various areas, but in this area, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they developed themselves. They created an infrastructure, and that infrastructure was created in various ways. However, this is one of the main reasons why that infrastructure was created, or how it was created. During slavery, the slave owner didn't really have to do anything except rock back. That's all they really had to do, and whip. That's all they really had to do. Black people were doing everything. We were sewing, we were planting, everything we were doing. If your shoe needed to get fixed, everything, blacksmith, everything we were doing, okay? So when we left, similar to when we left Europe, and you guys had to come try to find us, you guys had to come and find us to fix your shoe or to fix your whatever. So now in Black Wall Street, in that area, if they were to charge, let's say, their own fellow brother or sister $1 to fix their shoe, they're charging the white slave owner $10 to fix his shoe. And over time, it became so rich, they were lending money to England. They were lending money to the rest of the world. One of the richest places in America at the time. I think it was the richest place in America at the time. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, they had to stop it. So they used certain things and then played dumb again. You know the flex. So there was an individual by the name of Dick Rowland. Dick Rowland, right? Mm-hmm. And apparently he went into an elevator with a white lady. She
was the operator of the elevator. Because back then it used to be
elevator operators. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't know that part, but learn something new every day. Told you, when you leave, you gonna learn something. Yeah. So she was the elevator operator. She screamed, and he basically got arrested for some kind of sexual misconduct or some kind of thing that he did. The Me Too movement started way back then. Okay. So now you might think it's a joke, but it's no joke, because the man now, the white mobs were coming to lynch this guy because of this, and then they used that as the catalyst to burn down everything in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Everything black.
Everything black. Yeah. Yes. And I believe it was something like, there was just certain details that you guys could look it up, but I think it was like 100 or maybe 75 armed black people trying to help protect Mr. Dick Rowland. But they were met by like 1,500 white guys, okay? And they were deputized, given firearms. You're not winning that one, bro. You're not winning that one. And this is another reason why I say, before we talk all this militant stuff, you can't talk militant. What's the root word of militant? Militia, right? What's another word that we could talk about that has the root word militia in it? What, military?
Military, yeah.
So until you have the military, anyway, I'm not gonna get into all of that. But I think you catch what I'm throwing. And if you can't catch what I'm throwing, buy a bigger mitt, okay? Buy a bigger mitt, and you'll catch it, all right? So, Black Wall Street is destroyed, okay? And at that point, we've never gotten back to it. So how, the person that asked the question asked, how can we get back to that? First things first, stay on code. You code breakers. And no, we're not talking about you high-level intellects that can go into and figure out the codes of the internet. No, we're talking about guys who break the code. Like, you guys are practically snitches in my book, okay? That's what you guys are. You're telling on yourself all the time. So until we can at least agree to not talk negative about black people, it'll be difficult to initiate a flex like that, because you're always going to have people that are going to be dissenters, or people that have negative objections about, well, you can't do it because, oh, well, if you do it over there, and well, he's not a Muslim, or he's not Moorish, or he's not a Hebrew Israelite, so we can't work with a Christian. And listen, you got to stop all that crap, because nobody's making the distinction except for us.
That's it.
And then everybody else is looking at us like, yeah, the niggers.
Yeah, just black guys.
You know what I mean? And I don't like the term nigger. I don't really use it, all right? Nigger. I don't really use the term. And you guys can't try to tell me that you're talking about the Nagas. You can't tell me that. Or the Nagwal. Or there's many different words that Naga means God. But you guys ain't familiar with that. Half of you guys can't. I don't want to talk nothing negative, so I'm not going to talk about the difference in that. But I don't really condone the use of the word nigger or nigga regularly, okay? Maybe from behind closed doors, maybe. But you see, this is what they use to destroy us. They use our own words and our cosign, okay? So we need to stop giving our cosign to anything that they're presenting. Anything that they present, we're supposed to look at, well, anytime that we try to go into their institutions, they do, I don't know, we're supposed to do the same thing, okay? When they try to come into hip-hop, and speaking of which, Eminem just admitted that he knows he's a guest in hip-hop, okay?
Shit.
Feminem, just because Feminem, yes, Feminem, he admitted that he is a guest in the House of Hip Hop. So if you can admit that you're a guest in the House of Hip Hop, what's your beef with Jamar? You can play dumb now?
Back on.
Capital F.
Back.
So, back to the code breakers. Okay?
And also, and the black one.
But that's what yes.
Yeah.
In order for us to stop that type of negative influence or negative propaganda or negative spins around us, we have to control the narrative. We have to stop it. From there, we may be able to gain momentum, and at that point, when we start believing in ourselves, start acknowledging ourselves, start upholding and giving praise to ourselves, then we can set a platform to have discussions about building up a new Black Wall Street. But guess what, guys? Those type of discussions are supposed to be held in your private think tanks, okay? We need to have numbers of these. In every township, there should be a think tank, even if it's only 5 guys.
Yeah.
In every township, there should be a think tank. And the things that we need to discuss for our community only gets discussed there. Because you see right here, on these platforms, you think I don't know? You think I'm unaware? You think FB, Facebook, what, it's not FBI? It's not DHS? It's not CIA? What, you think I'm stupid? Like, these guys here are gonna try to tell me that Mark Zuckerberg, he is so smart. Get out of here with that crap. I don't believe it. I don't believe none of that. All of these platforms are generally platforms for Big Brother to monitor us, to steer us like cattle, okay? To give us motivations. But really, they're just programming, okay? They're just programming. So you see, for this, in order for us to build back a Black Wall Street, it has to be done outside of the purview of anybody that is not interested genuinely about building back a Black Wall Street. And I can't trust anybody else other than us to really take that task on. So if that's going to be the case, then we can't talk about that here.
Yeah.
Okay? So,
but I think the thing you said that's really important is that we gotta regulate the code breakers.
We gotta.
It's up to us as a ones that know the code and they're trying to uphold it, to regulate the ones that are breaking it, because no one else is gonna do it for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, but in so doing, it's not about scolding them in front of the adversary, because then we are code breaking when we do that.
Right.
So what we can do is ignore them, shun them. Okay, that's what I would say to do. Start shunning. And if you do this type of activity, you get a cancel within your own community. Mm-hmm. And then when you start to recognize the flex and start appreciating yourself and stop the self-loathing, you can get readmitted. But you're going to be under scrutiny. Everybody's going to be under scrutiny. I'm going to be under scrutiny.
Probation.
Okay? Probation is a light word. Scrutiny, you guys we're all watching. We don't believe, right now, we can't trust nothing right now. So our actions are going to speak louder than the words. And if you're taking time to type and post some shit online that you're not even getting paid to post, that's dissing yourself. You're a suspect. Okay? You're what we're going to call from this point forward the code breakers. Now that's that for that. Now this is a segment of our show where we are going to do a movie review. Okay? I'm pretty sure you know what kind of movies we're going to be reviewing here at AlphaMail Mondays. Okay? Now, we're going to call this segment of the show the Hollywood Shuffle. And yes, Super, you're supposed to be here with me doing that one, but you know, I gotta move forward sometimes, and there's no diss, but you'll be here next week, I bet. So, Hollywood Shuffle. Which movie are we reviewing this week?
So this week we're going to do Queen and Slim, a movie that came out, I think it was this year or last year?
Well, it must have been last year.
Last year, yeah, late last year it came out. Yeah, Queen and Slim.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it in the theater.
I seen it in theater. At home. But okay. But I seen it in theater too. Support black business whenever you can. Now, that movie there, I was told to see it by so many women. Women are telling me, go see the movie, Queen and Slim, it's a great movie. There are so many weird messages in that movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, I don't know if I can co-sign it.
Yeah.
I do say that it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's well done. It's well scripted. And
The script was written by a black woman.
no way.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding. Are you serious? It's either a black woman or Tyler Perry that wrote that script. Okay? So now this is not a slight against black women at all. Like, I have black daughters, okay? Their mother is a black goddess. I'm not talking about black women in a negative light. However, when things are presented to us, the general public, and if it's gonna get mass distribution, and the mass distribution is being done by the adversary, So in the movie, the first part that struck me as being off was when the gentleman, Slim, is trying to vie for this girl's attention. That's some beta male things, okay? Man move like a beta. And so, or maybe not beta, maybe kappa, or gamma, or theta. But you ain't no friggin' alpha, okay? There was no alpha movement there, okay? And so this might be the reason why in a situation like that, that Queen, when it became a situation of life and death, when being faced with the white supremacist officer, that she feels that she can start yapping. Okay? Now the yap is not stopping bullets. Okay? The yap is not a bulletproof vest, and bulletproof vests don't cover your head. Okay? So there's certain points in time where the black man who's been on road from time, and we have to interact with other men all the time, we know when it's a time to shut up. Because if we don't shut up, your head gets bust wide open. Alright? And when we're dealing with these racist police, and no, not every police officer is racist. I have family members that are police officers and they're pretty cool. Okay? And they're black guys and they're cool. Right? There's people that I grew up with that are police officers. And to be honest with you, we need a hell of a lot more black police officers. We need a hell of a lot more. While I am not going to be the volunteer, there are certain guys that are built for that. I'm not one of them. But in the movie now, This guy's being told to get out of his car and guns are drawn. And this woman seems to think that she can talk them down. You can't do that. You need to stay quiet. None of this, the Queen and Slim movie wouldn't even have been a movie if she had just held quiet. Okay? And I'm not telling black women you should always be silent, but there's a time and a place for everything. And that definitely was not the time nor place for you to start flapping gums. At that point, listen to your man. He says he got this. He says he'll get out of the car. He said he might have got a ticket. He might have got the car impounded. But he wouldn't have had to kill no cop. Okay? Now this is the reality of it. Now after that, he kills the cop, and then Queen starts moving like our queens are supposed to move. But it's too late. You guys are being manhunted. It's too late. You're all over the news. And if you had just listened, none of this would have happened. But if he was acting like an alpha male from the beginning, you wouldn't have felt that you could have just talked up. Because he would have said, hey, and you would have quieted down. Okay? But he didn't. Because he wants boom boom. And we all know that boom boom is the most valuable currency on planet Earth. We know this, okay? None of us are motivated to do things. Okay, well, maybe if you're not into boom boom, you're not motivated the same way that the general public is motivated. But I got something for that too. We're gonna cut aside from Queen of Cinema Review for a second. Let's talk about something quickly. Okay?
Off script.
Off script. Well, there's no script here, but off topic, all right? Now, you see, if you are into the anal sex thing,
Jesus.
all right? Yeah, because we're talking about pum pum. But some people, it ain't pum pum motivating them, it's anal motivating them, right? Now, I'm talking about man or woman, okay? If you feel that you think anal sex is natural, okay? Even though the sphincter and certain things are not built, even if you think it's natural, no problem. Do your thing. I don't think it is, but whatever. If you think anal sex is natural, this is what I suggest. Get rid of all your toilet paper. Get rid of all your toilet paper. Because if you can stick your penis into the source of the shit, okay, you should have no problem scraping the shit out of your ass with your hand. Okay? So, anyway, back to Queen of Slim. Bro, sometimes you just gotta fucking talk about this shit. Literally talk about the shit from the source. Anyway, so now, Queen of Slim, after that, I noticed there was a gentleman who was supposed to take them to their freedom.
No, before that.
Okay,
before that. The other imagery I didn't like was, I think most of us have seen the movie by now, and if not, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
The kid that shot the cop. That threw me off the whole. To be honest, I'm not surprised by the part where you're about to mention, but that part with the kid and the cop, I thought that was completely fucked up.
Now, it was, but that part is realistic to me. You know why that part realistic? Because dude was influenced by media.
Okay.
And a lot of us out here, you think that everybody, all black dudes want to show their bums outside? It's not that. They think it's cool. They think it's the thing to do. That's what they think. Okay?
The kid, he was saying he wanted to live forever. He wanted to be a legend like them.
And so you're gonna do what you think you need to do to be a legend.
Well, legend in whose eyes, right? It was a legend, media legend, basically.
Basically, right? Yeah. So you want to do it for show.
Yeah.
And then now what happens to you?
Kill a black man. He didn't even shoot a white cop. That's what I mean. Why they make him shoot a white cop?
Well, you know why they made him do that? Because they want to emphasize black on black crime and how who wrote the movie again? Anyway, so now that part did throw me off a little bit, and that part made me sad when I watched it. Okay, I was like, oh man, he just threw away his life and took this guy. Oh man,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. So it was a very disheartening part of that movie there. But and so the movie is a little bit messy for me, honestly. And people are talking about how it's so great and we need to watch this, and it's like, bro, like, and sis, like, the brainwashing is heavy out here, man. The programming is heavy. But as I say in a song that I wrote in like 97, 98, taking the program and get programmed is that easy, okay? Because it's called a program. It's not by accident. So now after this, they're about to get away. They're about to get away. And who sabotaged them? A black man. So why, in these movies that we have power to control the narrative, are we still sticking to this shuck and jive? Why? Why are we always showing that, oh well, at the end of the day, my brother is my worst enemy? Why are we always showing that? Tired. I'm tired talk boy. I'm tired. Alright? And it's because this one here is the movie, but as again, the movie was a very well done movie. I won't be surprised if it gets awards. I won't be surprised.
Well shot, you're right. Well shot. Good
Sure, but the message is what's gonna give them the awards.
Oh, you get screenplay and that kind of shit too.
The message, bro. Because they're showing you negative things about how black and black interaction is
in
negative.
terms of why they would give it
so that's why they'll get the award. I don't doubt it. And you see, I can't remember the dude's name who acted in it, but he's in Get Out. He acted a little bit in this movie here. He's a great actor.
Still a great actor.
He's still, but he's just reading a script.
Right.
And he's just playing the part. You know what I mean? So fine, but he was scripted as a beta. Okay, and you see like betas. This is alpha. Okay, so yes, there's room for betas. There's room for gamma. There's room for kappa, and there's room for theta as well on the chessboard. But the person who is operating the movements on the chessboard is the alpha. That's the only way that things will get done in a way where we can rise above and have actual progress. Okay? So I would say that.
So what would you give the Queen and Slim? What do you want to do? 5?
No way. Out of 10?
No. Out of 5 or out of 10? What are we doing?
Out of 5?
Out of 5.
Out of 5, let's do it out of 5.
All right.
I give Queen and Slim as a movie a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
As a movie.
Okay.
Message, I give it about 2.
Okay.
I give it about a 2 out of 5. All right. You might get a 2.5 out of 5, maybe, but the message was very convoluted, very convoluted. Not impressed by certain messages that were put in that movie. Okay. So whoever wrote it, great movie. Work on your message. And no, I don't write scripts. I don't write movies, but I can critique them. One thing I do is people talk about judge not, lest ye be judged. I judge everything, okay? But I don't condemn anyone. The condemnation is where the problem lies, because everybody has to go through their path to get to where they're going, okay? So I'm not gonna condemn you, but I judge you on this, all right? You're getting a judgment, and a judgment is 2 to 2.5 out of 5 for your thematic message. Now that's that for that, okay? So,
all right,
books.
Let's it's Black History Month. I think it's the final week of Black History Month, but you know we do Black History
every day,
single time
every
we come
day.
here, and every day that's what it is. History is black, according to everything we know.
Well, if you really, his story might not be black,
right,
but my story is, right. And my story doesn't have to be a mystery if you tune in. Okay,
lyrics.
All right, Doctor Who, No Fear None.
So let's
the end.
Let's hit him with the 3 books for this week.
3 books, okay. Off the rip, Dr. Layla Africa, African Holistic Health, must have in the collection. Okay, this man, he was a medic in the army, and I've
30 years. 30 years now.
He's not a joke either.
Yeah.
He's not a joke. And if you look at his physique for a man of his age, he ain't playing. And you don't want to get punched in your face by him either. His chest is kind of big. Okay? Straight up. Mm-hmm. So I met the man a couple of times. I met his wife. They're very good people. At this point, Layla Africa, if you talk to him, it seems like sometimes he gets a little bit frustrated because he's been saying the same thing for 30 years, and I understand. Just like Brother Dawood. If you don't know who Brother Dawood is, look him up on YouTube. That guy's one of my favorite speakers, period. Brother Dawood. Okay? We wanted to bring him up here to do a talk, but he ain't leaving New York. He said he ain't leaving New York. But he's been around from before Bobby Hemmett, before Phil Valentine. He's an elder. Okay? Now, as you get older, sometimes you get fed up because you've been saying the same thing over and over, and you want to flip your table now. Okay? So Little Africa is not as harsh, but he's not easy. He gonna tell you what's popping.
Yeah, but that's a good book. I have that book.
That book is an amazing book, and I recommend it to everybody. Not only Africans, not only Caribbeans, or people who identify as black or Moorish. Everybody can find benefit and value in that book. Okay? The next book that I want to mention is by Dr. Jewel Pookrum. Okay? Now this sister, I remember when I saw her speak, I was like, where is she? I want to meet her. This is a heavyweight. And her vibe is beautiful. It's extremities of beauty. It's like, wow, like how could you be so beautiful? And because of the way she talks. She might not be the most aesthetically pleasing to others, but to me, she's top tier. Top tier.
Oh yeah.
Okay?
Oh yeah.
So she has a book called Vitamins and Minerals A to Z. It's a must-have in the collection as well. Okay? I love that book. It's an easy read too. It's not that long, and it's a book that people need to have in their collection, especially if you are from our family, the black family, or the indigenous family, or the autochthonous family, or the Moorish, whatever name you want to call yourself, the original family. Okay? Jewel Pookrum, Vitamins and Minerals A to Z. Now the next book, this book here is not an easy read. It is not an easy read. His lecture is not an easy lecture. It's difficult. It's somewhat boring. If you want to talk, it's boring because the delivery of the DVD that I've seen him speaking, it is so high level that it's gonna just go over everybody's head, or almost, unless you're really into it. Now this is Dr. Richard King, okay, and the book is called Melanin. A Key to Freedom, I believe. Let me just verify that. Melanin, A Key to Freedom. Okay? This book is extensive on what melanin is and how it is, what it's used, how it... The book it's a blue book.
It's a hard book.
Yeah, but as you're reading through it, it's not an easy read,
that
man.
Book will bind up your head.
It is not an easy read.
Don't take no small words.
Like, give me a break. And I'm a university guy.
Yeah,
okay, I'm a chemist. Like,
that book will bind
and me, I'm like, whoa, this guy, like, holy, like after a paragraph, I'm feeling tired. Like, okay, but that book there, if you really want to know about melanin, okay,
we're gonna cover melanin though.
We will, but guess what? I gotta read the book again first before I even try. Before I even try to cover melanin, because you see, the thing is, guys and girls, gods and goddesses. The thing is, unless you're familiar with Richard King and this book, you don't really have no business talking about melanin. You don't have no business talking about melanin. Like, even when I was in university and they were discussing melanin, they didn't talk about all the things it was for. They just told it was pigment. They didn't tell me it transmutes energy from any type of energy into usable energy. They didn't tell me all that stuff, okay? And as well, the melanin sheath develops first. As in the embryo, the melanin sheath develops. And every organ in your body has to have melanin in it, or it won't even function, okay? So this book by Dr. Richard King, if you want to talk about melanin and you have the t-shirts got melanin and all kind of stuff, you should really get familiar with that book. It is an excellent book, but it is a hard read. But we're not into doing anything really easy, the easy breezy stuff. And as I told you, when you leave, you're gonna learn something. All right? So that's that for that. This is AlphaMail Mondays. We want you to like, subscribe, click the thumbs up. We need all the thumbs up, okay, that we can get. And tell your friends. Tell your friends that the fear none ain't afraid to talk about no topics. We're not afraid, but strategy first. Chess all day, either play or be played. And trust me, guys, the t-shirts are on their way, so don't try to bite that one. That's mine. All right? Peace, power, and positive vibes from Culture Rich TV and the Fear None. We're signing out.